want to introduce to you my co-host today is Gregg Dean. Gregg, you told me just a few minutes ago that you was a senior. Now, you don't even look like a senior. Now, tell me about what a senior. Tell me what life is like to you as a senior, Gregg.
It's good. Life is good, man. Life is good. You know, it's just like I'm just blessed just to be here in this studio because this is like deja vu for me.
I know. You got a lot to tell me about all of the places that you go around. You was walking around in this building and say, "Oh, I remember this. I remember that. I remember all the great, wonderful things and memories you had here."
Yeah, man. When I was working here, it was called World Space Satellite Radio, and this was the floor. And so when I came back initially, Donnie Simpson was doing an interview with me for my book. This was years ago, and it just blew me away. And coming in here today, it's just like deja vu again. I can't believe I'm in this building.
And I want to say, hello, Kevin, what's going on with you? Are you there?
It's all good, Captain. It's all good.
It's all good, Kevin. Are you good? Are you glad to see your friend?
Man, it's like, he still looks the same, too.
Does he?
He hasn't aged at all.
That's why I had to ask him if he was a senior or not, you know? But, you know, Gregg and I had crossed paths probably just recently, and I don't have a whole bunch of knowledge about how he saw the world during our time, during the street jocks days. Okay, I want to talk about the street jocks, and as far as I'm concerned, tell me about that street jock story, Gregg.
We talking about the documentary? Or
the documentary.
Well, Beverly Lindsay Johnson, who's an Emmy Award winner, and she did Teen-A-Rama, Billy Stewart documentaries for PBS. She contacted me and asked me about if I would be interested in helping her consult with this documentary called DC Street Jocks Rock the House. And it's a documentary chronicling the history of DC club and street jocks.
Yep.
And that's something that's never been done before.
And nobody ever talked about it.
You always see these documentaries about New York and Chicago. But Beverly was the first person to concentrate and focus on DC DJs.
Absolutely.
And we got to give her props for that.
She deserves it.
Yeah, she really does. She really does.
Along with the African American Music Association, she has done a wonderful job. But tell me a little bit about some of the DJs that you can remember that you used to admire.
Oh man,
I got a whole
list.
I got a lot that worked for me. Got some of my money.
I guess I can go back from like the ones that inspired me before I really got into it, and the ones that I feel who were my peers. So before I got into the game, I was a DC Fats groupie. DC Fats was it was like a street jock.
He was the guy.
Yeah.
And I used to go out there just to hear him spin a record. Okay?
Man, everywhere DC Fats was, I was there. Because that brother was, not only was he great on a turntable, but he had so much personality. And the other one was Smitty the Mighty Blazer.
Oh, Smitty, but I mean, Smitty was the first one to tell me about the association, and how to go about getting my records and all of that stuff. I mean, Smitty was really...
Yeah,
Smitty and Breeze.
I was going to say, and the third one for me was Hollywood Breeze, because Breeze Metro Club. So I used to go there. So those were the guys that were my heroes, the ones that were in the business before I got in there. But then once I got in and started doing my thing and started creating my own reputation, I guess you would say, there were some guys like Maniac McLeod, DJ Cool, Sam the Man Burns, Tommy Hall, DJ Mandrill. It was like a whole lot of jocks back in that day that were around that period of time that was doing my era.
Right.
Those were the jocks that I really respected. And like I'm wearing this T-shirt now for Sam the Man Burns, who passed away. His legacy still lives on in the city.
Exactly right.
And last year, I hosted his street naming ceremony.
Okay.
They named a street Sam the Man Burns Way.
Right.
And they asked me to host it, and I was honored to do it because I wanted to be a part of that, keeping his legacy alive, because that man gave so much to the city. For the music scene.
He did. Yeah, he did.
And I got a shout out to my brother Tommy Hall, because he's passed away, and he's another one.
Wow.
From the Mark IV.
Yep.
And the classics. We opened the classics together.
Yep. But I mean, there's a lot of DJs and club owners around. I had to definitely talk about Bill Lindsay. I had to talk about Malcolm Beach. I had to talk because first of all, they were friends of mine. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of you seniors out there who went to the Tiffany's and went to the Black Crystal and went to the Beret and went to the LA Cafe, and you was talking about where did you first start? You started at
the very first club I ever got paid for professionally was the Raphael's.
And then you went on to where?
Then I went to the Chapter 2.
Chapter 2. People can remember that. All of y'all remember.
Before it was the Chapter 3. I was at the Chapter 2.
Right. all of my seniors out there, you might not want to think that you're seniors, but you're seniors. You can remember those days.
Chapter 2. Then I went to Tiffany's. And then after Tiffany's, I went to the Classics. And then at the Classics, Donnie Simpson hired me to be his music director at WKYS. And while I was there, I had this show called the Kiss Friday Afternoon Traffic Jam. And that's the one thing I want to bring up right now, because I don't think a lot of people in Washington, D.C. realize that, well, not realize, but remember that before, there was a point in time where there were no mix shows on the air in Washington, D.C. No mix shows.
No.
And the Kiss Friday Afternoon Traffic Jam was one of the very first mix shows ever in Washington, D.C. And WPGC was doing some things and DJ 100, but that was the first one that was at KISS. And it really opened the door, because now you see mixed shows everywhere. Every time you turn on the radio station, somebody's mixing. It's a mixed show. But you think about it, there were no mixed shows back in the day.
And Donnie was the first one that started that.
Well, I had to beg Donnie, because when I first started working there, before I even started working there, I was asking him to let me do a mixed show. And he said he didn't think DC was ready for mixing. And so when I finally got the gig a year later, when this competitor was starting to do some mixing, I went in and told Donnie, and we had this conversation. He said, well, what you want to do? I said, well, I would like to do a mix show. And he said, okay, I'm going to give you 5 o'clock to 6:30 on Friday afternoon.
Wow.
So you need to come up with a name. So I'm thinking, okay, 5:30. What about the Kiss Friday Afternoon Traffic Jam?
That's all right.
And Donnie liked it, and the show became a hit. But the thing that I definitely regret is that I never trademarked that name, because now there are traffic jams all over the country.
Absolutely.